Welcome to Bhagavad Gita, Gitamruta, chapter 2, verse number 4. Bhagavad Gita as it is. Arjuna Vacha Katam Bhishmam Aham Sanke Dronam Cha Madhusudanam Ishubhi Pratiyotsyame Pujarhau Harisudana Arjuna Vacha Katam Bhishmam Aham Sanke Dronam Cha Madhusudanam Ishubhi Pratiyotsyame Pujarhau Harisudana. Synonyms, purport and translation given by Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Arjuna Vacha, Arjuna said, Katam, how, Bhishmam, Bhishma, Aham, I, Sankye, in the fight, Dronam, Drona, Cha, also, Madhusudana, Okir of Madhu, Shubhi, arrows, Pratyot, Shami, shall contract, Pujar, Ho, those who are worshipable, Harisudana, O killer of the enemies. Translation. Arjuna said, O killer of enemies, O killer of Madhu, how can I counteract with arrows? In battle, men like Bhishma and Drona, who are worthy of my worship. Purport. Respectable superiors like Bhishma and grandfather and Dronacharya, the teacher, are always worshipable. Even if they attack, they should not be counterattacked. It is general etiquette that superiors are not to be offered even in verbal fight. Even if they are sometimes harsh in behavior, they should not be harshly treated. Then how is it possible for Arjuna to counterattack them? Would Krishna ever attack his own grandfather, Ugrasena, or his teacher, Sandipani Muni? These were some of our arguments offered by Arjuna to Krishna. So as we saw in our previous class, that Arjuna's heart was filled with Daurbalyam. So there is a weakness in the heart of Arjuna, because Arjuna is so much attached to the own Kitan kings. So literally to tell, it is skin we are so much attached, because in this verse he has lot of weakness in the heart. So that is expressed here. That means Arjuna is representing us, the living entities, because we should always bear in mind that Krishna has kept Arjuna as an instrument to teach Bhagavad Gita to the conditioned souls. That should be bear in mind always. So Krishna is overruling that weakness in your heart, weakness in the heart of Arjuna. So Krishna is saying, so give up that petty weakness. Don't have that weakness. Do what I say. You should obey the order of the Supreme Personality of God, or order of the spiritual master, who is the bona fide representative of Lord. So here Arjuna is putting forward his own arguments, that this is wrong and this is right, this is according to Shastra, or we should do like this. He is arguing with Krishna himself. That means we should understand that we also so many times we argue with Krishna in the mind that no, it should be like this, it should be like that. What Krishna says is wrong. What I am following the path is right. So I will follow only my path. So I will not follow the Lord's path. He is not practical. He is not his instructions are pretty bad. So I don't want to follow this. All these arguments our mind will put forth, and we will follow our mind only, because our intelligence is not engaged with the service of the service of hearing and chanting the holy names of the Lord. So in this verse number 4, Arjuna is arguing with Krishna. So after the heavy chastisement from Krishna, Arjuna is still arguing with his spiritual master Krishna, saying that how can I kill my worshipable personalities like Bhishma and Dronacharya? Bhishma is my grandfather and Dronacharya is my teacher. They are worshipable according to Dharma Shastra. It is not at all adequate even to have a verbal fight with the grandfather and the teacher. So how can we expect me to kill them? So it's highly inadequate and it is highly adharmic to do these activities. I will not fight with them. So that was the argument put forward by Arjuna, because Arjuna was so much attached to his skin, so much attached to his grandfather and Dronacharya, because from Dronacharya he had a very good relationship as a disciple, and from Bhishma he had a very good relationship as a grandson. So those relationships are making him stronger, so that he should not have any sort of a bad terms with them. So that is why Arjuna is putting forward all these arguments with Krishna. And Arjuna is also arguing that, addressing Krishna as Madhusudana and Harisudana. So Madhusudana is telling, how can you say, so your name is Madhusudana, and Arjuna is also asking Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God, you are asking me to kill my grandfather and teacher. So if this position comes to you, or if this plight or circumstance comes to you, will you kill your grandfather Ugrasena and your teacher Sandipani Muni? He is asking Krishna himself. How dare Arjuna is. Similarly, we also dare enough to ask with Krishna sometimes, if some instructions are given by spiritual master, will overrule that, and we will not abide we will overrule the rules and regulations or the instructions given by the spiritual master and the Shastras. So Arjuna is asking like that, how will you kill your grandfather Ugrasena or your teacher Dronacharya? So it is totally not adequate even to have a verbal fight with them, and how can you expect me to kill them? I will not kill them. So I will not fight with them. So it's not at all practical, because they are worshipable personalities to me. So here we can understand that Prabhupada is saying in the purport that how best we can respect the elders, because in Vedic times people never used to sit in front of the elders or never speak in front of the elders. As soon as the elders comes, they go inside, and even to talk with them itself they were getting scared. So much fear they were having. They were so much scared to put any argument or to speak with them, with elders or teachers or with spiritual master. But now in Kali Yuga, in front of the elders itself, they put a right leg upon the left leg, and they speak nonsense, idiotic things which are all not Vedic at all. So now it is totally a different scenario, that the younger people will not respect the elders, and elders are supposed to bow down to the elders. That is this kind of scenario now in Kali Yuga, in the modern world. And so it's totally different in this modern world. We cannot expect those etiquette at all. But those days it was they were very sincere, obedient, and they were order carrier of the spiritual master and the grandfathers and parents. So now nobody cares about the parents, because nobody follows the Vedic system of life, and nobody follows the etiquette. what is mentioned in Shastras or what is mentioned in Dharma Shastras or scriptures. Nobody is following it. So even parents are also reluctant and and they neglect the parents to teach all those things. So that is why now in modern world, Gurukul and homeschooling is the best advice or best suggestion to parent the child or to bring up the child in different dimensions. So otherwise, children will get corrupted literally, and they will be driven off from the etiquette life or moral life. So that is why we are forced to introduce so many moral classes and ethic classes. So at those time, every time there were these classes were there. Even now it is there, but so many institutions are not giving priority to these etiquette classes and moral classes. Somehow or other it has left recklessly. So nobody is giving importance to these sessions. So that is why now one should voluntarily take up the Shastras like Bhagavad Gita and so other scriptures. So one should teach the students or children's Bhagavad Gita from the earlyhood itself, from the early age, so that students will not get contaminated or will not get corrupted, and they will not become the future dons or future thugs in the modern life. So in the small age itself, we should give that knowledge of discriminating the right and wrong path to the childrens, so that they can decide themselves, or they can lead a very Vedic system of life. So that is why Arjuna is putting forward all those things. So he's giving the awareness of etiquette, how one should respect the elderly people and elderly personalities. So how we can behave with them, and what are the things we have to follow when we are having any relationship, or when we are having any brotherly relationship or parently relationship, or teacher spiritual guru and disciple relationships. So all these things Vedas will scriptures will advise us or will guide us. So that is why Krishna says in Gita, Ityat acharati shreshto tattat devataro jana sayat pramanam kurte lokastat anuvartate. So whatever the great men, people follow, the common men will also follow the same path. So the elderly persons or great people should follow the right path. Right path here denotes that it is a Vedic path. You should also always follow the Vedic system of lifestyle, so that the common people also will follow this. So that is why the head of the family, the head of the society, the head of the country should always be very devotional, pious, and we should have very good etiquette awareness. So all these qualifications and characteristics he should have. Then only the people follow their footsteps. So then the society will be very peaceful, and there will not be any commotions and chaos in the society. So Bhagavad Gita teaches each and every verse of Gita gives very inner meaning and in-depth meaning of our practical life. So one may think it's so a very dry subject, why we should read all these things. It's only a make-up stories. So some people don't even believe that Kurukshetra has happened, war has happened. So better for those people we should come forward to open up so many different institutions or different classes, so that we can educate them and give them the good culture of life, and give them the civilized um, manner of following the Vedic style of life. So, say one should understand that a civilized man is a man who follows the instructions of Gita from the bona fide spiritual master. It's not that civilized means just wear a nice pant, shirt, and shoes, and have a good beauty consciousness. It's not that. One should also have a very good ethical awareness or ethical and intellectual talents, intellectual talents, and he should also behave like a good citizen to India. So how we can behave, how we can have a good behavior by following the footsteps of Bhagavad Gita. That is why Krishna says in Gita in different slokas, in different occasions, he says that one should follow the footsteps of previous acharyas because they set an examples to the coming generations, how one should lead a Vedic life, how one lead a civilized life. So civilized life means we should learn from the Bhagavad Gita, which says that we should also follow the footsteps of great acharyas and great mahajans, because they do achar, they follow the Vedic principles, they follow the Vedic injunctions, and also they make others also to follow. So they are not hypocrisy, because Kali Yuga is the age where there is so much of dosha and hypocrisy is there. So because people may speak in different occasions like a civilized man, but they will not follow all those things. So that leads to a wrong path, and that's not the way one should behave or should have that characteristics. And here Arjuna is also saying that you are Madhusudana. So Madhusudana means there were two demons, Madhu and Kaitava. The two demons were there. Once they stole the Vedas. So Krishna killed them and brought the Vedas back to Brahma. So that is why he killed Madhu, because that is why he called Madhusudana. So but Krishna is arguing differently with Arjuna that I am from Madhu dynasty. That means Vrishni's father was Madhu. So I am the lineage of that Madhu dynasty. So Arjuna is telling, no, not that Madhu. I am saying Harisudana. Harisudana means killer of enemies. So I am talking about the Asura Madhu. So you killed that Madhu. So I am talking about that. Not I am talking about your dynasty, that Madhu dynasty, because Madhu's son is Vrishni, and Vrishni's and Vasudeva and Devaki are from that Vrishni's dynasty. So I am not talking about that dynasty, I am talking about the Asura. So Arjuna is fully filled with raga, dvesha, raga, full of attachment to his relationship and his near and dear ones. But one should always follow the instructions of Lord and his representative, the spiritual master. So that's what Gita says, Gita advises here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Like, share, subscribe, and if you have any comments, please